Well, according to my watch, the time is 6:30. So that's our scheduled time to start this webinar, our summer camp preview. I'd like to welcome everybody here. Thank you for joining our 2020 summer camp preview. Just a few little housekeeping items that we'll go over here as we get started. This is a webinar and not perhaps the traditional Zoom meeting that you all may have participated in the past, which means that you're automatically muted as you come into it and don't have the ability to unmute yourself. You've probably seen a button that gives you the opportunity to raise your hand, and I see a number of you have already done that. But we'll be fielding questions through the Q&A button, which you can also see on your control there. So if you have a question along the way, just hit that button and type the question in there, and we'll either address it in that Q&A window or we'll address it directly at the end of this presentation. We had nearly 200 people registered for this event today, and we are rapidly approaching 120 that have logged in and joined us. So we may drag our feet just a little bit here to let some more people join, but we sure appreciate everyone taking the time to join us in this method in these crazy times to get up to speed on everything that we've got going on in 2020. If you would, to help us make sure that this message is getting out to everyone who's registered for our 2020 programs, please add a message in the Q&A section, just letting us know where you're from, what troop or pack you're from, and what council, district, city, and state that you're joining us from, so we can keep track of everybody that participates. And if we have some folks that weren't able to join us, we know who we need to follow up with. The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. As we all know, so much of that mission is accomplished through our outdoor program, our summer camps, our day camps, all of these amazing programs that really are the capstone and the highlight of the scouting year for all of our scouts. So we're excited to be able to share some news with you this evening about what's going on with the Great Rivers Council camps. Joining me this evening are Dennis Kearns, our camp director, and Daniel Wright, also known as Cookie, who is our program director for summer camp. So as we go through this, we're going to bounce back and forth between each of us here. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis to talk a little bit about what we've got going on with our camp facilities.
Welcome, everybody. We're hoping to have a great season. Can't wait to get down to camp with you all to have a good time. When you do get to camp, you'll see some new changes. Down at our aquatics, we have a new waterfront boardwalk that's all been put in from a generous donor. We're also have some new changing rooms down there as well. When you work your way through camp, come up from the waterfront, you'll come by the new welding and blacksmith shop. The blacksmith shop was opened up last year, but Justin is going to be in there with his staff. They're going to be actually offering welding merit badge this year. You can follow Justin also in the blacksmith shop on Saturdays when he puts up his Facebook on what's going on in the blacksmith shop. Program building that has the state-of-the-art woodworking equipment and stuff in it. iLab building, we have changed that quite a bit this year as far as merit badge classes, and Daniel will get into that when he gets into his part of it. But feel free to come in and talk to us and ask us about any questions. Hit us on the Q&A. I know that I'm going to miss some stuff here. David's going to bring you up to speed on what we're doing throughout the camp area on upgrades and stuff. But we welcome you all to come to our camp this year and have wonderful time with us and make some beautiful memories for you and your scouts. I'm going to turn it back to David.
All right, thank you, Dennis. We're actually going to turn it back over to Cookie right now to go over some of the updates and new things related to our program. Take it away.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here with all of you. So we're going to talk about some program stuff this evening. I want to start with our Scout BSA weekly schedule. This is just the kind of general overall schedule that we'll follow each week. So we start in the mornings with a food drop-off, and then every morning we have flags at 8:40. Now, flags are very important for the whole community of camp. So we do offer for our units to do flags. We have a flag patrol that will assist you and help you with whatever you need, but we really encourage all units to get out there and help us with those flags, because that's really the way the Scout does it. We have a morning block from 9 to 11:30, Monday through Thursday, followed by a daily leaders meeting at 11 o'clock, which sometimes those leader meetings change what the location is, but we'll always make sure you have the information well ahead of time. Food drop off again. And then every day at 1 o'clock, I actually have an SPL meeting. And that's just kind of where we talk about some general program things for the coming evening and the next day. So we have some things going. They're such a big help to me to make sure we are accomplishing our goals here at camp. And after we have more classes, followed by some makeup time, free swim, some troop shoots. And then we have evening program, which is a really fun opportunity that we have at camp, which I'll talk a little bit more about out and about and things that happen when we get to our area specific items later. And evenings, we have some evening program and followed by our lights out at 10:30. So it's a busy but really fun day. Up next, I want to talk about our new merit badges. So we have quite a few new merit badges this year. We have American Heritage and Genealogy, which that's a cluster class. So a cluster class is where we offer 2 merit badges or multiple merit. We do have some with 3 at the same time within the same class within that whole 5-hour period. So you'll be able to, instead of getting 1, you get 2, which is awesome. So that's a new one. That's going to be housed at Show and Do as a part of Handicraft. We have drafting, which is coming to the Invention Lab, welding coming to the blacksmith shop, and we have art and pottery, which will be in the Invention Lab. So you may think, well, that's not a lot of new merit badges, but at our camp, we have 67 merit badges we're teaching this summer, which is an amazing number. Next slide, please. We have 67 different merit badges. Those different merit badges, that's not doubling. For example, we have multiple swimming opportunity merit badge, but this is 67 different merit badges. So we're really, really confident that we can provide a very diverse program for all of our scouts who come. And on top of that, we have 17 different programs at our camp. Some are for younger scouts like Brownsea, and then we have some ones for older scouts like Pope and various things through camp, which I will talk more about in just a moment. So overall, there is a class for everyone. So we're going to start talking more about the area-specific items. Now, I'm okay with this. The area directors are amazing at this, but I'm going to give you kind of just a quick rundown of each one of our areas, starting with our Order the Arrow program. When you come in, we encourage you to have elections done before camp. If not, we can coordinate that with you to get them done before our call-out ceremony for sure. We are working on a few evening events. We have some opportunities for climbing and swimming and barbecues. That stuff will be finalized in a few weeks, but we will make sure that the information gets out to you for all of our OA events happening. We are also offering the Brotherhood class, which you can find on the merit badge schedule. That is as a part of our regular programming. And then our ceremony will be on Wednesday evening. So that class happens Monday and Tuesday, and then they go through the ceremony on Wednesday evening. And finally, one of our big events is our call-out ceremony on Thursday evening. So it's really important to get those elections done so we can honor all those scouts and scouters. Next, I want to talk about our summer camp retention program, Society of Daniel Boone. For those who may not know, this is our, like I said, our retention program, and it connects with our Arrow of Light program, which is Thunder Scouts. If you come to Lake of the Ozark Scout Reservation as a Thunder Scout, that Arrow of Light Scout, formerly known as Weeblos 2, you will get the opportunity to participate in some of our activities and SDB earlier than others who did not. So I'm really excited. This year we're able to offer black powder rifle shooting again on Friday afternoon. You can sign up for that, and it's going to be amazing. We have people coming in to help out. It's such a fun program. Really excited to keep continuing with Society of Daniel Boone. Now it's time for our wettest area, some may say. Let's talk about the lakefront. Now, when we get into this, I'm not going to be able to mention every little thing about it, but I'm going to kind of give you just the overall big things you should be aware of. So we have a lakefront with a lot of lakefront land, I guess you would say. And down there, that's where we mainly teach our watercraft merit badges. Examples like motorboating, water sports, small boat sailing, rowing, those kinds of merit badges. It's really exciting we have that lakefront property that we can offer this at our camp. Additionally, this year, this is something new, so I'm going to say it twice. Fishing and fly fishing are a part of the Lakefront Aquatics program. They are not a part of ecology anymore. They are a part of the Lakefront program. So that's really important. Fishing and fly fishing will be taught exclusively down at the lakefront this summer. So be mindful of that when you see your Christine. It will mention it's down at the lakefront. We do offer one swimming merit badge class down there. That swimming merit badge class is on Monday, Tuesday afternoon. Now that's the only one we offer at the lake. All the other ones are offered at the pool. So that's something else to be mindful of. And of course, we offer instructional swim, which happens at the pool, not at the lake. So those are just some kind of little things that are maybe a little tricky, you gotta remember. The next thing is pretty important. Taking those craft merit badges, especially like motorboating where you have an engine, you need to have your, and of course jet skis, you have to have your Missouri boater's license. That's very important. It's a quiz online that you can take. There's study materials, and you don't have to pay until you pass your quiz. Bring a copy of that with you to camp. And additionally, you're going to need a photo ID. We really prefer for you to have your photo ID before you come to camp. That's really important so that we're following the laws of the water. The lakefront offers lots of evening program out and abouts, like jet ski rides, sailing out and abouts, some rowing and canoeing in the evening. It's such a fun time just to go hang out with your unit and have some fun down to the lakefront. So we offer that every evening throughout the week, which is really exciting. And finally, every day, like I said earlier, we have that 4 to 5 time. That's our time for some free swim down at the lake. And also that's where we offer water polo. So that's one of those things we encourage SPLs to sign up for so that you're really excited, you have some fun to do. And water polo is a blast. I'm saying that even though I've never played it before, but it is. And of course, makeups happen down at the lakefront. The only exception to any of that is life-saving will do makeups at the pool instead of the lakefront. So we can keep all of our boats at the lake, or boat classes at the lake, and all of our swimming, stronger classes up at the pool. So we're not done with aquatics just yet. So let's talk about the pool. The pool is right next to the Welcome Center attached, if you are not aware. This is primarily used for our swimming merit badge classes. So that we have 3 merit badge classes up there for swimming. And then on that block where swimming is actually taught at the lake, that's when we offer our scuba BSA and snorkeling BSA. It's an amazing program. It's really fun to learn how to do it in the water. The instructors are amazing. It's just such a great experience. I hope that everyone has the opportunity to do one of those programs. One big thing that we've kind of come into over the past years is we noticed that there's a lot of cross-contamination with the lake. So we highly encourage you to bring a couple pairs of swim trunks. That's okay. If it comes down to needing a pair of shorts or something, we encourage you to wear those shorts down at the lake and then wear swim trunks at the pool. There are showers up there, but it can be an issue if we get the black algae into the pool, and we've had those issues in the past. We just want to make sure that we can do our best to help our rangers, of course, keep our pool nice and clean. And our evening program at the pool is a little different than it is at the lake. We offer a troop swim. A troop swim is where you provide rescue personnel with assistance from our camp staff that you can have some fun and do some swimming. Now, that means someone in your unit won't necessarily be in the water every single minute of your free swim time. But the benefit is when you are properly trained, you can go out and about and do all kinds of aquatics things, which leads me to something I should have mentioned earlier. BSA lifeguard, we do offer that. That's taught with our aquatics director. It happens all day. So we have the opportunity so you can go out and do more things. Now, to be that rescue personnel, you do not have to be a lifeguard. You just have to go through a training, which our aquatic staff will take you through. And of course, like I said earlier, all of the makeups at the pool, those will be swimming and life-saving. Any other aquatic stuff is all down at the lake. So if you have any questions, I don't know who's checking questions, but if we have questions, just let me know and we will keep on rolling. Let's move on to Brownsea Handicraft. Brownsea Handicraft is located at Show and Do Shelter, which is the hub of camp. This is such a great place. So many scouts make great memories here because this is kind of that first year camper place. It's a great time for scouts to get used to being outside and have a safe place. They feel like Show and Do is really their home when they're away from home for a little bit. So handicraft merit badges include basketry, leatherwork, music, quite a few. I've already mentioned a couple earlier too. Our Brownsea program is exclusively in the morning. That's where they're going to learn scout skills from tenderfoot up to a few second class scouts. So if you have any scouts that are about to cross over or you haven't had much time to really prepare for with the change in your scouting right now, this is a great program for you to get into. Now, we won't sign off on their books. We still want the units to assess those skills, but we're definitely going to be teaching them for you. And this is a great place. If you have any skills that you want to help our staff with, this is an awesome place because there could be lots of scouts out there. But we want to make sure that they are truly getting those skills. And we could always use help because it's always going to be a community to help these scouts learn. So, and here's a big change. Graphic arts and sculpture, which we've taught for probably the last, 5 years, that is no longer in the Invention Lab. That will be taught at Handicraft. So that's a big change. I know it's always been at the Invention Lab, but we're going to move it down there so it fits in more with those handicraft merit badges. Okay. Ooh, the tower, cope and climbing. Now, here's something new this year. We are expecting all of our participants to bring leather gloves. This is just a health and safety issue. If you are unable to get leather gloves, we do have a small selection at the trading post that you can buy. The class that we offer at the climbing tower is the Climbing Merit Badge. And we also have an advanced climbing program, which is just building on those skills that you've already learned in the Merit Badge or for adults. For that class, the same thing, you're going to need to bring your gloves. COPE is an amazing team working program that we offer. The important thing to remember is you have to be 13 by January 1st of this year already. And that's all afternoon. We offer free climbs, and I'm not going to say it on the internet because the COPE and climbing staff is so accommodating. If you get with them, they will get you some time to get on the climb. So they're amazing at that. We really don't have like a pinpointed time necessarily. We have troop climbs in the evening, but free climbs, they offer them all the time. They're amazing at helping us to get that program out. And finally, we do offer crate stacking, which is really hard, and I've never done it before. It looks really hard. And we have the flying squirrel, which is where, well, your leaders go flying in the air. So get your scouts out there to pull you up. It's a great thing to see. I'm not getting in it, though. Let's move on up to ecology. Ecology is housed at Finland Shelter at the front of camp. This is where you're going to see a lot of those cluster merit badges. We teach nature and environmental science. All those really. Oh, thank you, Dave. We're really excited that we teach all those merit badges up there. This is where, like I said earlier, you're gonna find clusters. So you will be getting more for your, not gonna say more for your money, but yeah, you get more merit badges in this area because of all those clusters. Animals found around camp. We love animals. And I'm sure that our eco director will talk about this when we get to camp, but we love animals in nature too. So we're gonna leave them there for right now. Our camp staff will take care of any animals that may come to, that will house at Finland Shelter. And of course, we have the nature trail. We encourage you to use the nature trail. It's a great place just to walk down and see some nature in our great camp. Let's move on to our big area, the fantastic Invention Lab. Now, the Invention Campus actually uses 3 buildings. I'm going to focus on 2 for this page, the Bluff Top building and then the program building, which houses all of our woodworking materials. In the Invention Lab, there are classes like digital technology, chemistry, drafting, like I said earlier. This is the one at the very end of the parade field. It's really distracted right now. Oh, it's amazing, the Invention Lab is. So I'm really excited that we can offer a lot of great programming in there. Our staff has been working with those machines, so they're very well trained on how to get amazing things out of them. We have also added a couple new programs there, not merit badges, but programs for our adults. We have an Invention Ranger program in the afternoon, which is a place which they'll be able to go and create something, because really the core of the Invention Lab is to go and create and make something. And there is a component of part of the Invention Lab where you need to not only create it, but you have to, how are you going to use this? What's the purpose? How can we make the world a better place? So that's the amazing part about the Invention Lab. It's what you make it yourself. Cyber chip. It's not a secret we have internet and Wi-Fi through camp. It's very, very important that every single scout who comes to camp has a cyber chip. This is because the Invention Lab is kind of the hub for all of the technology in camp, but they're not the only ones who have internet access or need internet access. There are lots of areas that need internet. For example, ECO uses internet for dissections, and Outdoor Skills uses it for citizenship in the nation. So it's really important that all scouts who come to camp this summer have a cyber chip and have a copy of that at camp. And finally, their big tournament at the end of the week is the chess tournament. We love playing chess. We have chess sets all through camp. So it's amazing that we can have that many scouts come down there and do a chess tournament. We encourage everyone to participate in it. It's such a fun program. Now, let's move on to the blacksmith, the 3rd building in the Invention campus. Now, what happens over there is we have metalwork merit badge in the morning, and in the afternoon we have the advanced or adult blacksmithing. That's a great time for your leaders to get out to make something cool. Justin and his crew, they're amazing at helping you all find what you want to do, create something, but just as the vision of the Invention Lab, it's going to be up to you what you make. Here are some important things that I've heard Justin say over the years. So he wants me to say this right now, 14 years old or a 3rd-year camper, which that will tie into my later statement later. Thank you, Justin. Proper clothing. Please do not wear synthetic materials. Like this shirt, it will burn right through it. It's very important that you wear, not that, cotton, something that won't just burn up. And boots are preferred in case you drop a hammer. We don't want to have to send anyone to the hospital because of a foot injury. So please, we encourage you to wear those boots. And like Justin said to me, that age thing, the scouts need to be strong enough to work in this area. If they can't sit there for 2 hours and pound the metal, it may not be beneficial for them. The same way if a scout can't swim, swimming merit badges are going to be helpful. So be mindful of that when you sign them up for metalwork merit badge. Okay, flipping the page. Ooh, my alma mater, archery. This year, we are offering 4 archery merit badge classes. So you'll have the opportunity to obtain that archery merit badge up there. We do makeups mainly on Friday morning for archery. And then Friday afternoon at 4, we have the Golden Arrow. Now, this is a competition for 1 adult and 1 youth from every unit to come over and have a chance to see who the best shot in camp is. And then, of course, we're going to have our 3D range set up. Our 3D range has a bunch of animals, well, fake animals, that you can have fun shooting with your troop. And those are that's a sign up at the event, sorry, not the invention lab, at the, well, there's sign up somewhere. There's a sign up somewhere. We'll see where the sign up will be with the rest of the out events. So moving on to shooting sports. Shooting sports down at the rifle range. Jerry's down there. He's amazing. Next page. Thank you. We offer rifle and shotgun shooting. And then any makeups that happens on Friday morning too. And we also offer specialty shooting sports. Now, this is where they're going to be using pistols. So, number 1, you have to be registered as a venturer. And that you can take care of that. We're actually going to figure out what we want everyone to be registered as very soon. You need to make sure your hold harness form is filled out. That's available on our website under forms and information. And then you must be 14 years old or 13 and completed 8th grade. That is very important because you have to be 14 to be a venturer. And finally, silver bullet, same thing as the Golden Arrow, except with a rifle. That's offered at 4 to 5 on that Friday to see who the best shot in camp is. Now, let's move on to outdoor skills, which is housed in outdoor skills across from the parade field. I like to think of this kind of as our Eagle area. We have a lot of Eagle required merit badges here. Camping, cooking, wilderness. Well, wilderness survival is not Eagle required. But these are the merit badges that some of our older scouts need to obtain Eagle Scout. So this is one area that has can potentially have a lot of issues with prereqs. And we're going to talk about those prereqs later in this webinar, so you're pretty familiar with what that looks like and our procedure for that. New this year, coming to outdoor skills, is the Paul Bunyan Award. There's 4 requirements, and one of them is just working with axe, a knife, things like that in camp. And additionally, one is having your totem chips. So I'm sure you all are carrying them around. So we do need to have totem chips if you want to do Paul Bunyan. That'll just be a walk-in class. There won't be a sign-up online for that. And our service project, we're going to pair that up with our OA service project, which will happen sometime during the week. So we'll get you the information weekly because it will change. And that, like I said, that will happen 4 to 5 daily. Come when you need to, and when you're done, you're free to go about your day. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is all of our camp-wide events. Like I mentioned earlier, we have morning flags every day at 8:40. Now, this is the way we do it, and your unit may do it a little differently. We encourage you to wear an activity uniform, formerly known as Class B, to morning flags, so you can go right to class and get into the scouting skills of the day. So we do encourage that so that you're not having to go back to camp and come away and back and all of that. And that's where we'll get our important words of the day, formerly known as announcements, so that you're ready to go for your day. Evening flags, Sunday through Wednesday is at 8:30. And then Thursday and Friday, we move it up to 8 o'clock because Thursday we have family night. And I know we're still working some things out with that. And of course, Friday we'll have a extended flag ceremony for our awards and celebrations before we go down to closing campfire. Our Vesper service is held on Sundays, and that's put on by our staff. And we encourage you to participate in that because it's a great thing just to kind of calm down for the first day of being at camp. It's a great way to come together and celebrate being with each other. Our opening campfire happens on night 2, actually. It happens when at the end of the day, after our first full day of program. So it's a really exciting way for us to celebrate being at camp and being out in the woods, and we're going to put on a show for you, so just get ready. On Thursday evening during family night, that's when we have our OA call-out ceremony. This is a great experience for those campers, so we do encourage you to attend. And then finally on Friday evening is our closing campfire, which is a combination of our camp staff putting on skits and songs and a combination of your own units doing them. The only thing I say about campfire is we don't do potty humor. I know that there's a lot of good skits going around about toilet paper in our current situation, but we do not allow toilet humor. So the next thing I want to talk about is adult programming. We have quite a bit adult programming for you. These are our big ones. Now, there are other little things I'll get to later, but we have BSA lifeguard all day. So that's a great opportunity. Like I said earlier, if you're wanting to go out and do more water-based activities, that's a great thing for you to take. We offer that advanced climbing class. In the afternoon, that's where we have the advanced adult blacksmithing. And that is a Monday, Tuesday class or a Wednesday, Thursday. But like I said earlier, Justin can be very flexible. So if you need to talk to him, figure out what you can do and the time you have, that's awesome. And here's our new thing for our adults in the Invention Lab, the Invention Ranger program. This is going to be a great opportunity for you leaders to get out there and really get to know the Invention Lab, explore what you can do. And of course, I don't know how I missed it, we have COPE, which I've already talked about earlier with the COPE and climbing. We encourage adults to participate in that too. We have additional adult programming, which happens sporadically throughout the week. For example, we have the Mile Swim, which practices down at the lake daily over lunch, and then they'll do the actual, they build up each day, and then on that last day, on Friday, they will actually go out and swim their mile. It's a great way to build up tolerance and get out there and swim. Adult climb, which I've already mentioned, the flying squirrel, which I've mentioned. Of course, I need to plug our SDB black powder shooting again. And finally, our golden arrow and silver bullet competitions. Now, you may notice those are at the same time. We can make things happen if the same leader is wanting to do both of those competitions. Just let us know. We can be very, very accommodating. Our camp, I like to personally pride ourselves on being very cohesive. We all work together really well as a camp staff. So there's 3 things we really work on to really achieve this cohesive camp. Number 1, we always communicate and continually improve our program. The cycle has to go like this. We're not communicating between campers and staff with staff and staff back to campers. It doesn't work for us. We want to make sure that your experience there at camp is exactly what you need. An amazing opportunity for you to learn and grow. Now, classes are not limited to one program area. Nature is nature. A great example of this is environmental science. They can't just stay at Finland Shelter the entire time. They go out and about. They're walking on trails. They're seeing the camp. They're being in nature. So don't be surprised if your scout isn't exactly where you drop them off. They're gonna be in a group. They have buddies. It'll be awesome. So on that topic, I haven't said this yet. Make sure you have water bottles because some classes do walk around. And that goes right back to those those classes that use computers in the Invention Lab. So they may be going up there and using some of that and heading back to their program area, wherever that may be. And we have common goals. Number one, we care about your health and safety at camp. And number 2, we want you to have fun. That is so important. We want to create memories that you can remember for your entire life. Now, one way to have those memories for the entire life is having your prereqs done correctly. What a transition, Cookie. I need to work on those. This is a prereq form. Now, some of you may have seen this in the past. This is available online, and it was in the leader's guide. What you're going to see on here is this is just a form for you to fill out if you have completed a requirement for a merit badge that was listed in our prereq sheet. For example, inventing requirement number 8 is to make your invention. Now, you'll need to fill this form out because you can't do that at camp. You can't do all of the components of that at camp. So we encourage you to take care of these prereqs before you get to camp so that you can leave camp with the merit badge. Another really tricky merit badge is camping and cooking. If your scouts are already doing all those camping skills and all those cooking skills, we encourage you to get this form filled out so you can leave with that merit badge completed. So check online to see if a merit badge needed example. In the past, there are some merit badges that had prereqs that are no longer prereqs, so that's updated yearly. So please make sure that they look correct now. Now, here are some tips for success, my recommendations to you all. Number one, you've got to be familiar with the merit badge requirements before coming to camp. You don't want to be shocked by things. One that shocks people all the time is wilderness survival requirement number 5. This one shocks. To make your own cook kit. Sometimes it's a prereq. Sometimes you can do it at camp, depending on what your unit can bring to camp. If you have a full-on kit, then you don't need to do a prereq before. So that's something you should really look. Have your scouts be familiar with the merit badge. Turn in your prereq forms during check-in. This will make it very easy for you when we do our midweek checkup process on Wednesdays. And then we want to make sure your checkout is easy and simple on Saturday when you check out. So please get those prereq forms turned in. Additionally, if you have your blue cards, we encourage you to bring your own blue cards. We do have some blue cards for sale at camp, and we'd love to give you some, but we encourage you to bring those already filled out with the name, the scout name, the class, and just the general camp, unit information. And finally, to stress it one more time, please have your scouts go through cyber chip training before they come to camp. This is so important in our world today. It is essential, really, in the times that we're living, to be on the internet and to explore that. So make sure that you have that cyber chip so that they can go about and do their things, especially in the Invention Lab. So now I want to turn to our Cub Scout program. Oh, that's got I want to turn to our Cub Scout program. Now, I 110% believe Cub Scout programming is essential to the scouting experience, because without Cub Scouts, we can't always get those Scouts, BSA Scouts, to come. So it's an amazing skill. I started as a Tiger Scout, and it's amazing that we offer this program, because I never went to camp as a Cub Scout, but I would love to come to the program that we've created here. So we have group rotations. Now, each group will be moving within throughout the camp as a group, not a unit. That's important to remember. We don't want our Tigers with our Webelos. We want to keep them separate, so they're learning age requirements, age-related requirements. We don't want them just learning things because we want to keep them together. Part of camp is learning and meeting new people. So we encourage you to do that. It's a part of camp, learning to be with different people. Each one of these groups has a captain. A captain's kind of our leader of those groups. That's a staff member. And they actually have this big old wooden staff with them, so you can always find them. Now, our leader of those captains is actually called the Vice Admiral. Now, the Vice Admiral is just the person kind of to go to if you have questions about anything, but your captain is going to be your number 1 person. They're going to be with you all day through program. They're going to assign meeting spots, so you're right back together. They're going to be kind of the glue that keeps your groups together. And I'm really excited that we have that, and our staff can break out to help you all with that. So you don't have to worry about maps. You don't have to worry about what time it is. All you have to worry about is watching your scouts have fun and enjoying your own self out in camp. And I want to show you a quick example of one of those rotations. Oops, I skipped something. Our theme this year is critters. So we'll have a craft that goes with that, and our campfire will circle around critters for Cub Scout resident camp. Now, Here is a example of a program we are doing. This is the Black Bears. So this is one of our Cub Scout rotations we offer. So you'll see lots of different things. Now you may just say, oh my goodness, that's a lot of adventures. And the thing is, it is okay. Your captain will take care of where you're going. You just gotta show up. I'll stick a couple and talk about a little bit of them. So Make and Move is in the Invention Lab. BB's, of course, is down at the range. And then Salmon Run, this is some of the tricky ones. Salmon Run is actually at the pool. This kind of goes along with our whole boat versus swimming activity. All the swimming stuff happens at the pool. Boats happen down at the lake. And you get to travel around through camp. There's some ecology time. There's times at outdoor skills. You'll get to go up to the archery range. And at some of the programs, you may see den activity time. Den activity time is a time for you to pick what you want to do with your unit. Now, this is where it's different. It's not your group that you've been with the whole rest of the time. You can do this as your unit. You can say, ooh, my guys want to go Boulder. Let's go Boulder. Or, ooh, my guys want to go archery. Ooh, shooting. Ooh. So that's a great time for you to go and do what you want as a unit. So we're really excited to offer that. So you have that unit time at camp too. So that is the end of Cub Scout Resident Camp. So I think I am gonna turn it, oh no, I'm not. I'm gonna keep on talking, I guess. This year we have a Cub Scout Day Camp. Our theme is Down on the Farm. Of course, there will be amazing opportunities to use the Invention Lab trailers, and there will also be shooting, BBs, and archery at the day camps. And we have 6 day camps, I believe. Columbia, that was a lot of, you can read that, I'm sorry. So you can choose where you want to go for your day camp this year. Please sign up online, Lotzer, I'm assuming, lotzer.org. But yeah, I think I'm done talking now.
Dennis, it's over to you.
Thanks everybody for having some patience with me there as answering a question and answer. The National Camp Accreditation Program is what allows us, the leadership, your camp directors, your program directors, all have to go to school. And that falls down to each area of camp. It's like our staff. There's certain criteria that as a camp director, I have to follow on getting your staff hired. Most of our staff is all hired. We've been having Zoom meetings with them. We're really looking forward to getting into camp and where we all love to go and have some enjoyment working with your scouts. With staff qualifications, there's a whole list that I must follow, and on especially their training, their questions, even over to health and safety. It's all broken down into categories so National can make sure that our camp, along with all the other camps, are following the same criteria program on training their camp staff, making sure the health and safety standards are all followed. The commissary where your food's going to come out of, whether it's Cub Scouts or whether it's Scouts BSA, there's certain criteria that we must follow down the list. Facilities. There's a whole bunch of facilities, and we could be talking for a long time, but I'm just briefly going to go over this. Administration. That's up at the Welcome Center. We all have to go to school. There's certain limits and terms that we have to obtain to, but everything is a reason. That we will be inspected for Cub Camp, we will be inspected for Scouts BSA. So we have to be inspected twice by 2 different groups. So both groups go through. To my knowledge, and David and I was talking earlier, we have not missed being credited yet for Lake Dilsler Scout Reservation or Camp Han, to our knowledge. Every year we get inspected, we get credited, we get awarded our banner, our paperwork, and that's allowed us to keep working forward to a positive and to the right direction that we need to go. It can be a little rough, but we enjoy doing this. It's what we do to have a safe in camp. It's like last year, just so we can open up our camp for this year, so you can bring your troops to our camp. We had to file out and fill out all the paperwork just to open. There's limits that we have to do. And like I said before, camp is wonderful. It's my camp, Lake the Ozark Scout Reservation. I know it from back in the younger days as Camp Pond. It's my favorite camp. It's always going to be special to me after I am long gone. I just wanted to touch base on the end caps. We all short for end caps. If there's any questions on the Q&As, just send a link in there and I'll answer them the best I possibly can. So I'm going to turn this back to David.
All right, back to me. We've had a lot of questions come up on the board. I think a number of them will probably get answered in this next section to the extent that we're able to. There have been a number of other questions that we have a running list that we'll address in a Q&A section at the end. COVID-19, that's on a lot of people's minds, and concerns about what the impact to camp is going to be for that. And right now we haven't made any changes. We're working with basically a roughly 30-day rolling window as we're evaluating our programs and making sure that we're ready to go. And if we have to make any decisions about timing or capacities and that sort of thing, we'll do that at that time. But we'd like to think of the Lake of the Ozark Scout Reservation as a community and our campers as part of our family, and you're part of that camp family. Dennis talked a lot about many of the longstanding policies that the Boy Scouts of America has, and that our camp follows to make sure that we have a safe, quality outdoor program for our campers. And that's important, and that accreditation process has been around for many, many years. And as Dennis said, we've always been an accredited camp and will continue to be, because it's important to us to provide the best possible program for our campers. Now, a friend of mine said years ago that fun is a byproduct of safety. And I believe that's very true. The safety of our campers is paramount, and having a safe environment makes it possible for us to have that safe and fun outdoor program that we've talked about. So here's a quick look at some of the additional changes that we've made, things that we're considering and thinking about and working on, and other things that we will be doing to enhance the safety of our camp family this summer. As you know, this is a rapidly evolving situation, so we're continually monitoring all of the guidance that we get from the CDC, from state and local authorities, from the Boy Scouts of America National Organization. If that guidance changes and we get different information, we'll adapt our plans accordingly to whatever the most current recommendations are. If we have to change our schedule in any way, or if we make adjustments to the changes that I'm talking about here, we'll communicate this by email to all of the registered units, leaders, parents out there, and through future webinars like this. One thing that we're looking at is our medical check process. We've had a couple of questions about camp physicals, and certainly camp physicals and the health of our campers is extremely important. We've already had a series of conversations and meetings with our camp council health officer and our camp medics, and we've been reviewing all of the protocols. Those of you that have been to camp before are familiar with the physical form that you have to get filled out every year. It's a 3-part form. Parts A and B are required for day camps, and for resident camps you have to have parts A, B, and C. That Part C form of the form is the section that your medical professional, your physician or nurse practitioner has to complete for you every year. We are aware that there are some folks that have had challenges getting appointments made, so we encourage you to not delay. Contact your medical professional, get an appointment set as soon as possible. We are looking into some different possibilities of things that we may be able to do to help facilitate the Part C completion for units within the Great Rivers Council. We're also developing a camp arrival health form. I'm not sure that we're going to stick with that name. It's a bit of a mouthful, but this is going to be sent out to all the units ahead of camp for everyone to complete as they're getting ready to leave to come to camp. We want to make sure that our campers, as they arrive at camp, are not exhibiting any signs or symptoms of the COVID virus. So we will ask that every camper or a youth under the age of 18 have a parent complete this form, and we'll be doing medical checks as we've done in the past, but we'll be doing them really in the parking lot and collecting those forms from you as you arrive, so we can make sure that everyone is safe as we go into camp. Now, once you're at camp, obviously we'll have that arrival form. We'll have our expanded med check, which will include that and include taking temperature of all of our campers. And we'll be doing daily health checks with all of our campers and our staff. Cleaning obviously is important to make sure that we eliminate the virus and try and reduce the spread of that. So we're working on new protocols for our facilities and the way we clean things, the way, the instructions for the campers and the troops that take turns with the cleaning during Scouts BSA camp. But we're making sure that we have the right protocols for all of that to make sure that we keep things as safe as possible. We're also looking at cleaning and sterilization of various equipment that multiple people use. And we will also be installing hands-free hand washing stations at our program areas as well as at the campsites, and emphasizing the importance of personal hygiene for all of our Scouts. As you know, we have our food program at the Lake of the Ozarks Scout Reservation for Scouts BSA is a patrol cooking format where we deliver the food to you in your campsite and you prepare it, all of your meals with a couple of exceptions. We are going to non-cooked lunches this year. That's not something due to COVID. That's something based upon the recommendations and the requests that we've had from leaders over the years. And we are looking at the process of our camp-wide feeds that we do on Sunday evening and on Friday evening. We want to continue to be able to do that, but because of some of the social distancing things, we'll be looking at how we do that. Perhaps we'll be delivering those already cooked meals to your campsites the same way we deliver the food for you to prepare the rest of the week. All of our staff will be completing a food handler's course prior to the arrival at camp. And as you know, all of the food that we manage, we have a food service company that provides that service for us. And they do this process for multiple camps and for colleges and universities during the school year. So they are very up to date on all of the policies and procedures. So they're on top of that, and we'll be sure that we're following all the same things. Campers will be given additional food handling instructions, including, of course, the emphasis on the importance of hand washing, and we'll be providing gloves for campers for use in the meal preparation. Social distancing is a question that's come up a number of times, and certainly we're considering all the variables associated with that, looking at class sizes, at the settings for the classes, and how we maintain that social distancing and keep track of that. We're also looking at other programs and activities and events where campers typically congregate, whether that be campfires or different ceremonies, or as I mentioned, those camp-wide meals. And we're looking at making adjustments or changes to that programming to support the social distancing requirements. A few comments, and I blasted through this without advancing my screen, but there have been some concerns that we've heard about finances. And we've had several units and families that have indicated that they're hesitating to sign up for camp because they don't want to find themselves in a position where they're not able to get a refund if something changes because of COVID. And I want to put your minds at ease. Our refund policy for 2020, if anything changes or if there are any cancellations or anything happens as a result of COVID-19, you'll be eligible for 100% refund. So don't let that worry you. We do still have campership applications for Great Rivers Council Scouts. There was a question earlier on about what the deadline for campership forms being turned in is. Typically that deadline is the same as our Camper Savings Day, which in the past has been May 1st, was pushed back to May 15th for this year because of all that's going on. So please, if you are a scout or have a scout from the Great Rivers Council who needs financial assistance coming to camp, we want to make sure that the camp program is available for everyone. So download that form on the camp website and get that turned into us by that May 15th deadline or sooner if possible. That pre-registration process for camp is important. So if you've been hesitating to do that, hesitate no more, because we need to know who's coming to camp and how many are coming to camp so that we can make sure that we're prepared for your arrival. We need to make sure that we have the right staffing and the right programs and supplies and resources and equipment necessary to be able to provide you the best possible programs. So we need that. As I said earlier, if we make any changes or additional things that go on, we'll be making those announcements through this type of format as well as by email. So if you're not registered for camp, or if we don't already have your email on file, perhaps you're a parent and your Scoutmaster signed you up or your Cubmaster signed you up for camp, but you want to be in the know about these things, send me an email at dave.harris@scouting.org, and I'll make sure you get added to the distribution list for anything related to camp this summer. Now, wanted to hit on some of the Q&As, and I'm going to ask Dennis and Daniel to go ahead and unmute and bring their video back up, and we'll bounce around some of these questions here.
Okay.
The first question I had to do with the age limit for welding and blacksmithing. I think we hit on that as we went through, but that age limit is 14, same for both of those badges. There was a question about the Sunday night feeding, and we're not going to be having you cook on Sunday. We still will provide your meal and prepare your meal. It's just a question right now of how and where we're delivering that meal to you. Question, I don't know whether this goes to you, Daniel, or Dennis, about Order of the Arrow elections. We had a unit comment that they're doing their election tonight, and they're trying to figure out when and where and to whom they send that election report.
Dennis?
They can take that report and they can email it to the scout office or to myself, David, at dennis.kernscouting.org, or they can bring it with them when they come to camp and when they check in. That would be the latest time they can give it to us, is when they check in. If they can do that, then we can make it work for them.
All right. Had a question about mile swim. When and where are the practices in the mile swim itself?
So our mile swim is offered throughout the week during lunch, and then the actual mile swim is on Friday during Friday at a scheduled time in the morning, which we're still getting a few logistical things taken care of. Our mile swim will happen daily, the build-up. You have to go to the build-up to do the mile swim.
All right. Had a question from somebody who had a scout that took BSA lifeguard last year but wasn't able to complete it due to lack of a CPR class. Is it possible for a scout to sign up just for a CPR class if we're offering them this year so they can complete that BSA lifeguard?
As far as Daniel, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't believe so, because they have to go through a special Red Cross CPR, correct, Dennis?
Yeah, the CPR that I teach, I must be BLS certified. That's what they have to have. It's basic life saving added to the CPR. And this year that should not be a problem.
Okay. Oh, good.
So the course that we're going to offer during camp will be satisfactory for BSA lifeguard, and it's possible for a scout to just sign up for that if that's all they need to complete it.
That's true, David. I mean, that's the intent. I'm still waiting with this C19 is how quick the class is for me to get recertified is going to happen.
All right. The camp physicals, there was somebody who asked a question about camp physicals and how, if there were considerations of changing the requirements and so forth. That would be a national level question. I know that they're discussing that, but obviously the importance and the critical nature of knowing how healthy our campers are is perhaps even more important this year than it has been ever before. So I would not anticipate any relaxing of those standards related to health forms. So do your best to get them done. And as I said, for folks here in the Great Rivers Council, we will be attempting to see if we can find some other support opportunities to help you complete those. Somebody asked about the reporting at the end of camp. What are they getting at the end of camp to indicate what was completed or not completed?
At the end of camp, it's just like every year past. I answered a question a while ago on the question and answer about that. When you check out, inside your checkout packet, it's going to be a list of all your scouts that went through your merit badge classes. If they've completed, it'll say complete. If they still have qualifications requirements they need to finish, that will also be marked on there as incomplete. So that will be in your packet when you check out on Saturday morning.
All right. Somebody also mentioned the Friday black powder shoot is already full. Is there going to be another chance for them to shoot black powder?
Probably not, because we are limited for space and how many NRA certified black powders shooters are instructors that we have down there. With that limit's on there because the amount of people we bring in to help instruct that course, David.
All right. I know we talked about needing to have a Missouri boater's license if you're taking motor boating or jet skis. What about a fishing license if a scout is taking fishing or fly fishing? Is there a certain age at which they have to have that?
That's a great question, and I have a great answer for it. Okay, so for our merit badge program and the program we run at camp, you do not need a license. We do catch and release. However, if you're planning on taking fish and cooking it up, then you're going to need your license. That's going to be on you if something were to happen with the water police.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. Let's see what else was on my list here. How and when do adults register for the programs that they want to sign up for?
Oh, Daniel?
Sure. They'll sign up just like you sign up all the scouts. So you'll see your name. You can go in and pick what courses you want to take. So it's the exact same way you've done all of the scouts.
All right. Let me scroll through some of the other questions here. I think we've covered that. Columbia Day Camp is in early June. If there are still COVID concerns, will the dates be changed or will it be canceled? That's an excellent question. Some of it will depend upon site and availability of the park and those sorts of facilities. And we're certainly keeping that in mind. Another question that came up related to day camp had to do with that early form for arrival at camp. And we will be asking our day camp attendees to bring that along with them as well. Somebody asked about pots and pans. Do you have to bring pots and pans? We do have a limited supply of pots and pans available in our quartermaster, but we really recommend units bring their own so we don't exceed that. Is that correct answer, Dennis?
Yes, it is. We have 20 sets of pots and pans to be checked out if a unit needs to have any more utensils or anything for them. Quartermaster's there, open and ready for business.
All right. What about camp menus? Do we have camp menus finalized? Anything that we can share with folks, or is it already on the camp website, or what's the process there?
It should be on the camp website, but I'll check on that tomorrow, and if it's not, we'll get it posted.
All right. There was a question about scouts with celiac disease. There is a form when you register for camp where you indicate special dietary issues and restrictions. If you did not catch that or did not get that filled out as you were going through the registration process, send either Dennis or I an email at david.harris@scouting.org or dennis.kearns@scouting.org, and we'll work on getting that form to you so we can make sure we have that covered for you. Brotherhood at camp. Dennis, is that available to folks from other lodges? That's a national Order of the Arrow rule, and honestly, I don't remember what that rule is right now.
No, I do not believe they can. I'd have to do some checking on that and answer back, but I think we can call them out, but that's all we can do because they have to earn that in their hometown lodge.
Right. That was my recollection of what it used to be, but I wasn't sure whether it changed. We can do a call out with permission of the lodge chief or lodge advisor of your home council and home lodge for our call out, but you cannot do inductions or advancements to brotherhood in anywhere other than your home lodge. Question about camperships, how long it takes to get those processed and when it shows up in the online registration. If we get a campership form into the office, we're usually able to get it out to the folks that review those for consideration and have an answer back within about 10 days or so. And once that information is back, our fantastic program specialist, Drew at the office, gets that updated in your account. Someone asked about Cub Scouts being given proper talks and guidance for archery and BBs and slingshots in order to be able to earn their shooting sports award at day camp. That'll be a function that we have to do with each of the individual day camps and make sure that the day camp directors and their shooting sports people are following that to make sure they get all of that instruction. But we have those resources available. It can certainly make sure that they have those. Question about parents paying individually online, and I'm not exactly sure what that was in reference to, whether paying for a scout to attend one thing or another, but shoot us an email, and we'll get to the question there. Another question about OA elections this year. And, how are they being held? I can tell you that in the Nampatsi Lodge here in the Great Rivers Council, we are facilitating virtual elections where troops can get together through a Zoom type meeting and conduct an election virtually. I don't know what lodge you're with when you ask that question, Joe, but if you're from the Nampatsi Lodge and that's something you'd like to do, shoot me an email, shoot Dennis an email. We'll put you in touch with the folks that can get that virtual election taken care of. Question about the Society of Daniel Boone for someone whose son went through the Thunder Scout program. The eligibility to join that is when, Daniel?
Ooh. Oh, I want to say third-year camper, but let me double check on that.
Yeah, if I remember right, it's third-year camper, but I think we accelerated that by 1 year for Thunder Scouts.
For Thunder, yes, for Thunder Scouts.
Okay.
And then I didn't touch on this earlier, but that program, that induction happens on Wednesday evening at a different time than the Brotherhood ceremony.
All right. Will units stay as a group at Cub Scout day camp, or will they be broken into ranks or age like we're doing at resident camp? That, again, will potentially vary from day camp to day camp. Most of the day camps allow units to stay together as a unit, and depending upon the size of the groupings that they use for their rotations, a unit may either share their group with one or more other units, or they may have several groups all of their own. It's possible that the camp that's being held down in Laurie, we may rotate around based upon age group, since our summer camp resident camp staff is facilitating that one, but that decision hasn't been made yet. What about bicycles?
Can I add one more thing to that?
Please.
So Cub Scout resident camp, we do not allow lions, but day camp does. That's an important thing to remember. We can have tigers at resident camp, but not lions.
And bear in mind that a lion at a summer program is a youth that is going into kindergarten in the fall. So anybody who just finished their lion year or is finishing up their lion year, even if they're taking advantage of that extension that National allowed till July 31st to complete that rank, if they've completed kindergarten, they are no longer considered a lion, they are a tiger. So they're eligible to come to our resident camp. Question about bicycles. Can somebody bring a bicycle to camp?
Yes, they can, David. As long as they follow BSA's national standards that you can get online from National, follow that down, and it follows it right on through. And cycles are allowed as long as you got your helmet and you follow the standards. Same thing with hammocks. You have to follow national standard for the hammocks and cycling.
All right.
Awesome.
Question.
Can I go back real quick to the SDB? Because we have an amazing camp staff, and they're sending me messages saying, hey, don't forget this. For SDB, it's a third-year camper or a Thunder Scout who's the second year for SDB. So what we said earlier was correct. Third-year camper, and then a Thunder Scout that's second-year camp. Thank you so much, Malachi.
All right. Thank you, Malachi. A question about list of accomplishments for summer camp doing with the Cub Scouts. Is there a list or something that's given out at the end of the session of Cub resident camp that indicates what they've completed for one rank or another? Great
Question. When you check in, you're going to get a form, just like an Excel sheet that says, for example, the Timberwolves are going to be doing these different activities. And across on the top, it will list the requirements 1 through whatever. And then as you go through, the instructors will be saying, hey, we have completed, what rank did I say earlier? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Did I say Bears? Timberwolves. Wolves. Oh, I should pick one I knew. Let me go to a bear one. A bear goes fishing. So they will say, that fishing instructor is going to say, okay, your scouts completed this adventure. So it's going to be your responsibility to mark off on your sheet, hey, I got this. A general rule is we completed all the adventures we offer at Cub Scout Resident Camp. There are those rare occasions where we may have an interference if that's weather, but mostly 99% we get those completed.
All right. Question about about trailers at the campsites. Yes, if your unit has a trailer, you can bring it and keep it at your campsite. Thunder Scouts, do they need the leather gloves? The leather gloves are for folks that are taking the cope and climbing program so that we're not sharing that equipment. I don't believe the Thunder Scouts will be doing any belaying, which is where they would need those gloves. Daniel, can you correct me if I'm wrong?
You are correct. At Cub Scout Reza Camp, we allow bouldering. And the bouldering is alternative with our blacksmithing demonstration.
All right. Can other lodge or can members of other Art of the Arrow lodges participate in events with our lodge OA members during the week? Dennis? Daniel?
Yes, they can. If you're a member of Order of the Arrow, it's a National Honor Society. No matter where you're at, you're more than welcome. You can even assist us in our call-outs. You come to the Cracker Barrels, the swimming parties, anything that we're doing for Order of the Arrow, all lodges or all lodge members are allowed to attend and enjoy brotherhood with all of us.
All right. The early bird date for summer camp, somebody asked about that, is May 15th to get the discounted rate for resident camp. For day camps, I would encourage you to visit the day camp page on the council website, because that early bird date varies depending upon where your unit is located and which camp you're going to. The camps in the first half of June have an early bird date of May 15th. The camps in the second half of June have an early bird date of June 1. But please visit the website to confirm that. Question about when signing up boy troops and girl troops together. How do you, it did not give us an option to put in two campsites. Do they camp together on one campsite? How's that done, Dennis?
Depending on the size of each troop, if they're both small enough that we can split a campsite, we do. But mainly, if they need to get into a campsite, we could contact Drew and see what the chances are for there's an open campsite for them. But like I said, if you're in Cherokee Campsite Freak, we can split that campsite in the middle, and they'll be able to take care of that.
All right. Couple last questions, and then we're going to have to go. We have another group that's actually got a meeting coming up at 7:45, so we're going to have to scoot here fairly soon. The Scoutmaster Merit Badge, is that something we're doing again this year?
Yes, we are.
All right. Does the trading post take credit cards?
Yes, we do.
All right. For anybody from the Black Diamond District, they also attempt to break up their groups for day camp by age. So in reference to that earlier question. The last thing I'll be able to hit on, said, please reiterate what additional procedures are required during check-in regarding COVID-19 health. That is related to that pre-camp health form that we'll be sending out to units. We're still working on that with our council health officer and physician to make sure that we have everything the way we need to have it. But that will be a checklist that everyone will be sent ahead of time that needs to be filled out and brought with them to camp. Basically, we're looking at the symptoms and conditions and the health of our campers in the 72 hours leading up to summer camp arrival to make sure that everybody's safe. So keep an eye out for that form as it comes around. Dennis and Daniel, I can't thank you guys enough for all of your great information tonight. I hope we've answered a lot of questions. I sure appreciate everybody being on this call. I saw counts upwards of 150 people at one point on here, so hopefully we've gotten a lot of good information out to everybody, and absolutely appreciate your attention here, and can't wait for you all to come to camp. I guess there was one other question that I'll mention. Somebody asked, what about if we wind up delaying camp or changing arrival dates and that sort of thing? How will that work? Will we have put additional weeks at the end of camp, or will we have a first come, first serve? Those are some of the things that we're looking at. If we are delayed with the opening of camp, Most likely what we would do is consolidate the number of weeks that we're offering camp for Scouts PSA and camp for Cubs to a smaller number, and we would do everything we can to accommodate everybody who's registered in those weeks that are available if we have to make that change. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. Fingers are crossed that we don't get to that point. But thank you all for joining us tonight. And if you have any additional questions, please shoot us an email at the council office. Dennis, Daniel, any parting words?
Go ahead, Daniel.
See you out there. It's going to be a great summer.
Be safe, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Remember, camp is where the memories are made, and they last forever.
Well, again, thank you all for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing everyone at camp, and you all stay safe, as Dennis said, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you.